Hey, what's up, everybody? And you know what time it is. You're now locked back into the wedding edition. So you guys know if you haven't been here,
They've been here.
they've been here. But the newbies, what's up? How are all of you doing? This is the wedding edition podcast with myself, Little Miss ENT, and my awesome fiance. Say what's up to everybody. Awesome.
Yeah, so she always introduces herself. You have to introduce yourself as the bride
I
in the
am
wedding edition. She's getting married to
that
me.
bride. I seen a shirt that said
I
that.
got my shirt on today. You might not be able to see it with the border, but
Says boyfriend
yeah,
crossed out, fiance.
yeah. She always buys stuff and be like, "You don't wear my shirt."
I like it. I like the way it
So I
looks.
figured we were doing a podcast, and so I wore the shirt today.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
So for all of you out there, if you don't know, this is our podcast. It was a spinoff from our other podcast. We got engaged and we thought we were going to do a mini series, but it has elongated because due to COVID-19, we have had to postpone the wedding, but it gives us such a great opportunity to learn and grow with all of the community out there that we have created with the wedding edition for a whole nother year of content about two Black millennials planning their wedding and all of the things in between. It started with Awesome having some learning curves, right? Some things that he did not know that went into.
Don't put it all on my back, but you know
No.
what I'm saying. Describe it like this: guys in general aren't
Yes.
really educated or raised to find a wife. You get what I'm saying? We're
Yes.
raised to just really love life. You know what I'm saying? Which
You
is
always say that.
experiences,
I think it's such a good
places,
thing. Yes.
people, not really make someone the love of their life. So that transition from me from loving life to finding the love of my life
Yes.
was what I needed to be educated on.
Absolutely. And so I think you're doing a great job with all of the content. If you guys have not checked out the episode with him and Sean, it's probably the most
Yeah.
listened to. It's
Oh,
the
you think it
groom's
was?
take. The numbers don't lie. It's the most listened to episode. It's the groom's takeover. So Awesome and his friend Sean are both getting married.
Yeah.
And so that one is a lot of great knowledge in there. If you are a bride and you feel frustrated with your groom, it's a great male's perspective on planning a wedding and their insights on it because they don't feel the same way that we feel about planning a wedding, and that's okay.
No, we don't. We don't. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's a beautiful thing, and I'm sure there's guys value that union. But the planning and the attention to detail that ladies want us to have is never going to happen.
Yeah.
And sometimes the goals that women set for guys in their marriage is unrealistic. So me and Sean just had a private. Well, it wasn't a private conversation, but it was like we were talking to each other.
Yeah, it was a friend.
Yep. I've known her for a long time, and we just was being honest about how we felt through the process. I mean, we both have made that transition from, like I said, loving life to finding the love of our lives.
Yeah.
And we're just slowly, putting our toe in the water.
But you guys did a great job at that. I just wanted to commemorate that.
Don't sleep.
Don't sleep.
Y'all be sleeping on us, man. That's all.
Couple of things. Make sure that you guys subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's the Little Miss ENT Show. Make sure you give us a thumbs up and hit that notification bell and subscribe. There's a ton of content
We dropped
up there.
so many videos
Yes.
on the Patreon. We really just released teasers of like these videos, and we try to release the ones that are more timely
Correct.
on YouTube. So we did put a couple, like our George Floyd episode was up
Yes.
there, and then we'll put probably put this up there too.
Yep.
But the actual interviews we do with other couples
Yes.
are on the Patreon. More of the behind the scenes look at our wedding planning, engagement, from our photos to when we went to do the food testing, to the walkthrough of the venue, when we went to get our marriage license. Like, we do this whole thing.
We documented it all.
Yeah, and put it on the Patreon. So, support, a podcast is a Black business. Let me say it again. This a
You better tell
podcast, and I said this, but a podcast is a Black business. Just because I'm like, hey, click the link, and I know SoundCloud kind of killed that for everybody.
Yes.
It's still important to support your people who are passionate. We are not new to this. We are true to this.
Yes, absolutely. So make sure you do that. And then I just want to thank everybody. I know that I obviously have two platforms under one umbrella, but if you guys still want some Eben of New York makeup and hair products, my code Little Miss ENT is still active. Y'all,
Plug.
y'all showed out.
You
Y'all
should have
showed
put
up.
it in.
I'll put it in there. I'll put the link below. But y'all showed up and showed out. They were very grateful for having me as an influencer. So I just want to thank you guys because every little bit helps. And like I said, the code is Little Miss ENT, LILMISSENT. And follow me on all my socials. It's at Little Miss ENT, LILMISSENT. It's on everything: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Everything is the same. And then the handle for the wedding edition is _ the wedding edition. So follow us there.
So let's get into it.
All right.
So what are we doing here?
So July and August. Who's lying?
Man,
I couldn't wait to say it.
I know that was a low blow. That was a hard hit.
No, first and foremost, there's no elephant in the room. What we want to do today is dissect and talk about the topics in which encompass Jada, Will, and August, because it is a marriage, it is a relationship, it is a woman and a man. They're two men and a woman. It's a love triangle. But respectfully, I didn't discuss this with Awesome, but I just want to say from my perspective and inclusive of our relationship, we share a lot of things with you guys because of the knowledge that we want. And the reason we started this podcast was to have a positive connotation and depiction of a monogamous relationship between a man and a woman in the African American community. And I'm in full support of just healthy relationships, no matter what that is, a man and a man, a woman and a woman, whomever you identify with. I think there needs to be more depictions in our community, whatever your sexual orientation. And that's what we wanted to do. So respectfully, what I would like to say is, at the end of the day, none of this shit is our business. What they got going on in their relationship, in their marriage, is none of our business. But I am very thankful that they did sit down and do a red table talk about it, because these topics, and very much saying that what we try to use our platform as, it was something that needed to be discussed within our community. So I want to say that I respect their marriage, and whatever the hell they decided to do with their marriage is their business. But the topics of what ever going on is what we would like to discuss today.
Yeah, well put. You're right. There is a few things we gotta get out the way.
Yes.
So if you're okay, I would like. I kind of brought up by accident. Let's you know what I'm saying? We got to get to these jokes. We got to get to these jokes.
Well,
we got to get to the jokes,
it's
man.
It's been a lot of, I mean,
this was flawless execution right here. I mean, y'all seen the video. Will, my man Will, they put the do-rag on him and they say, you said, you was like, yo, Will look stressed. I'm like, Will didn't look stressed. And I looked at it again. I was like, yeah.
Awesome didn't see it.
He was stressed. He was stressed. He was taking it though.
He looked like he was crying right before that interview.
Yeah.
He looked like that.
What about this one? He said, hey, what month is coming up?
August, and he just breaks down crying.
Yeah. I mean, the entanglement line has been going viral.
The definition, everything. It's a lot. It's a lot to unpack, but we're gonna unpack it today.
They done threw Jim and Chrissy in there. They said this a 20-year entanglement. Yo, she started loving hip hop this last season. Said she was living separately in Miami.
She said she didn't want to get married anymore,
and
he wanted to get married. That's a whole. We're not gonna go on Jim and Chrissy, but entanglement.
Somebody,
that's a definition.
Somebody posted this. They was like, y'all forgot Woo? Y'all forgot Jada Pinkett and Woo?
Yeah, man.
She was wooing cats.
Yeah.
This was around that booty call. She wasn't booty call.
That was the 90s era.
This was the 90s era. You know what I'm saying? So there was I think there was a couple other memes in here. Oh, this was crazy too.
I didn't watch this one yet, but
it was a voiceover. It was a dub.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm going to do all these movies without Jada. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was just saying that he was going to do, like, Bad Boys 4 without her. He said, when I made Wild Wild West, August was 14.
Yeah. No, I didn't watch that one. But
it was a voiceover. It wasn't his voice.
But you know what? I'm glad you started there, because this is, and I'm always up for a good laugh. I am. But the problem...
You make light of the situation.
It's not even a make light of the situation. What I would like to express is that I guess you're right. It made light of the situation. It's like
Yeah, because this is serious. People
it is.
people
This is
get
their
killed over this.
lives.
Somebody
You know,
like
this is their
a man,
lives.
and
You
this is
know.
what some people were saying. A man not as strong as Will could possibly, do harm to Jada and August if he's not in that situation. It happens every
Yes.
day.
Yes.
Domestics and relationship violence is real from these situations when people step out because people can't take that on their pride. Everybody knowing your business. People
Especially
have a
men.
problem with everybody knowing
Yes.
your business.
Absolutely.
Especially to this capacity. Now, I say that they are celebrities, right? So the rules to the game are different for them, no matter what you think, right? A normal
The accessibility to them is different.
and
right?
the I want to say the cloud surrounding their lives.
Okay, dive into that. What do
I
you
mean, they can do this, and I'm not.
Okay,
I'm not
yeah,
giving the green
that's what
light. I'm just saying, like,
I thought that's what you were going to.
two
Yes.
millionaires can cheat on each other and still be millionaires.
A lot of people have
The
brought
guy,
that
the
topic
girl
up,
working at
yes.
Walmart and the guy working at McDonald's can't cheat on each other. That's what I'm saying. Even though they do,
they
but
can,
but
right?
it's going to
Okay.
be. This is what I'm
They-
saying. The
they can.
normalcy of that is that it becomes stressful, right? It's pride comes involved. People get hurt. People get damaged. It's not like this. These are millionaires.
I think shout out to Jesus Shuttlesworth. If you guys don't listen to Awkward Minority, what are you doing? But the thing is, you remember when Diddy was going through all of this,
he's rich.
and you and Jesus Shuttlesworth, y'all ganged up on me like they're like, yo, Diddy can do this because he's a millionaire.
These are millionaires.
Not to digress too much, but these celebrities are human just like us. And what happened to Diddy? He ended up losing Kim Porter, messing around with his reindeer games. And no money in the world can buy that back, right? Like, so when we talk about these serious topics, especially intertwined with the relationship, does the Birkin and the Bentley and all of that, when your man cheats on you, eases your pain? People are foolish to say that it does not, right? The same way, like you said, when the lights is about to get cut off and both of you are cashiers at Walmart, the added stress of living that lifestyle is what makes people react differently in infidelity situations. So I agree 100%. When your guys said that and I ran it back, I was on my soapbox, y'all. I was like,
She be on that. She be on that thing 24/7.
Cheating on Cassie. This was way back. This was early in the podcast. I don't even remember what happened, but we did talk about it, and you guys were like, "Nah, Candace, that's Diddy.
Yeah.
He can do what he wants."
So
Allegedly.
So the thing that's been up for debate, and I want to get my phone out to read it. I'm trying to think who sent it to me. Another guy, Kev, sent it to me. So this is what's up for debate. I'm going to read this from my phone. It's a little small. So I'm always looking into deeper issues. So a grown and married woman, Jada Smith, befriended her child's homeboy, August Alsina, who she called son, who has life-threatening health issues, has been sexually abused, is somewhat troubled, and has family issues.
Yes.
The same grown married woman begins a sexual relationship with her child's homeboy, who she said she was healing and helping to overcome sickness, a troubled past, molestation, and the entertainment industry woes. And y'all worried about entanglement. And this is someone else's post. So
I would love that as a starting point. I want to define a couple of things.
there's one more sentence there.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Miss Jada, the village wants you to step from behind the red table and come to the front porch. And this person is calling her a predator. And then in the comment says, if the roles were reversed, Will would have to hide in a bunker to avoid lynching.
Okay.
And that's the topic. That's the topic
we want to talk
someone
about.
else. That's someone else's statement. So we're going to discuss now.
Can I just define a few things? You're your mom's child. I'm my mom's child. Awesome is 36. I'm 35.
Whoa.
Darling.
Whoa.
I'm sorry. They know.
Whoa.
They know. Anyway.
Jesus Christ.
Why, you didn't want your age out there?
Gosh.
You're 36.
Bugged
darling.
out. You bugged out.
How old do you think people thought
It doesn't
you were?
mean you know what I mean?
Okay, I'm sorry. Anyway, August Alsina, when he engaged in his relationship, was 24 years old, and he is now 27 years old, right? He is not a child, and that statement used the word molestation in reference to Jada Pinkett Smith. There is no way a 23-year-old got molested.
He's not. They're not saying about her. I think they're saying when he was a kid.
No, but the last statement, that's the problem with that statement. He was saying that she was being a predator as such as a molester. That's what I'm getting from. Can you read the last line
They were saying
again?
that his past when he was young.
Yes, he dealt with
molestation. Yeah, but yes, they're calling her a predator, right? But they didn't
But why?
necessarily connect it. They didn't.
I think
connect
that's
it.
what the miscommunication is. That people are trying to connect her being a predator
Yes.
with him being young. He's not underage.
No, he's not, and they're
that's
not.
all
They
I
didn't
wanted
say
to
that.
define.
They didn't say that. Yeah.
But can you read the last
All
line
right,
because
yeah.
that's why I
They
think
just
I'm
said.
confused.
They said she preyed on his weakness.
Absolutely, but
That's the same thing when okay, put like this. Guy and a girl break up or death in the family, and the homeboy be like, that's when the guy
you're
who's in the friend
vulnerable, they
zone,
prey on
the
you.
guy who's in the
No,
friend zone sweeps in. That's what they trying to say.
Well, I just think, can you read that though?
sorry.
Because I think what my issue with that statement, everything in there is very clearly defined. But what we have to be careful when we're communicating things is using hot button words like her child's friend. I'm my mom's child, and my friends are my friends, right? If my mom dated one of my friends right now, we are older. It doesn't have
Nah,
that has
darling.
nothing.
Nah.
No, darling, it has nothing. At a certain age, it doesn't matter.
babe.
It's all consensual. That's what my problem
But listen,
is.
I'm getting the
with
age
that-
part,
with that
but
part.
just
That's
don't.
what my-
You can't say that you would be okay with one of your friends dating your mom.
No. I'm sorry. Somebody my age. I shouldn't have said my friend.
Yeah, I was like, nah, man.
I shouldn't have said some my friend. What I'm saying, what I was trying
Somebody
to
your
correlate.
age.
Somebody. If my
Yes,
mom
okay.
dated somebody my age,
yes.
I don't care.
I understand.
What do I care about that?
Okay, that's better.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you're
yeah.
right. I don't want none of my friends to date my mom.
But
I'm saying
that's
somebody
what,
my age. What do I care about that?
And that is in the situation that they're saying. They're saying like, yo, August was apparently Jaden Smith's friend, like real friend. Like I think Jaden brought him over to the house the first time.
These are the things we're trying to connect the dots.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know, but what we do know is what they said, and that August has admitted the Smiths helped him with his autoimmune disease that he was having. August Alsina was having issues with his liver. And he
had more than that. It was his eyes. Remember that? His liver.
His systems were
family,
shutting down.
Yeah,
yes.
his brother. He passed out. He was going down rapidly.
He was very sick. Will admitted it, and Jada admitted that they met him when he was physically sick, like he was going through whatever that was. Right? They both admitted, and including August Alsina, that family helped him through that.
Yeah.
I just want to keep things very clear. Did you bring the thing up?
Yeah, I got it.
What was the last line with the molestation?
No, it said, all right, I'll just have to start from the beginning. So a grown and married woman befriends her child's homeboy, who she calls son, who has life-threatening health issues, has been sexually assaulted, is somewhat troubled. Sorry, it's mad small. And has family issues. The same grown married woman begins a sexual relationship with her child's homeboy, who she was healing and helping to overcome sickness, a troubled past, molestation, and the entertainment industry woes.
Got it. Okay,
So I was
you're
saying,
right.
like, in his past,
trying to get him to overcome his molestation,
yes.
not to be. But then, what did they say about her being a predator?
It just said, I need you to step from behind the red table. It said, if roles were reversed. Oh no, I'm sorry. It's at the bottom. Miss Jada, the village wants. No, that's not it. Y'all worry about entanglement. I cannot say. Simply cannot. Miss Jada, the village wants you to step behind the red table and come to the front porch. I am sick of predators. So that's the
person said,
personal. I'm sick of predators.
Got it.
But they're saying that basically he was vulnerable. He was I guess vulnerability is the word. He was vulnerable, and then they're saying she took advantage of that because she became a motherly figure.
Yes.
And he was going to her for help, and then she said, "Hey, I need you to do some things for me too."
Well, we're speculating on that because this is all of that. I want to be very clear. There was a lot of manipulation of this young man. We don't know what was being told to him, what was said. We all have been in situations where we can kind of read the writing on the walls. He was led to believe something that wasn't what was happening, right? She might have been promising him things and telling him things. And at the end of the day, when she was done with him, she put him out by the side of on the curb like trash. That's the problem. That's the problem right there. Also, a lot of this how we word things.
So you're saying, and let me just take it back. So you're saying the problem was that she dumped him.
The problem was the journey of their relationship and how they got to the end. That was the whole problem. That's what I'm saying. Like,
well, I mean, I'll put it like this, darling, and I think that with the conversation that everybody's having and the big was making the big rift between the men and the women, the problem is that she is still technically married.
That's exactly what we need to talk about. That is the
first thing, okay?
Yep.
And the reason why we wanted to discuss this is because we're getting married, right? We're going into this relationship. So would you be okay with us separating and me being in doing an entanglement?
Listen. Yeah, so I'm going to answer this. Everybody, I have had coworkers, associates, friends that have gotten divorced and they have separated. And then I have people that have gotten back together and separated. I'm telling you, this is Little Miss Entertainment speaking to you from my personal opinion. I do not believe in separation. I don't believe you go get your own place, I go get my own place, and we have a free-for-all when we have communicated and said we're going to work on ourselves to work on our marriage. I don't believe in that. I do believe that some people need time off. I do believe go to your mom's house for a couple days. I do believe maybe go sleep on a friend's couch. I do not believe let's separate our lives in conjunction of feeling like we're going to get back together somewhere, because there's too many ways of error for things like this to start to happen when you are living separate lives. So me personally, don't believe that that's successful. I don't think that separation.
Okay, but if you had to answer, would you be okay with me doing something like that?
No, I wouldn't be.
I wouldn't be. I wouldn't be okay.
I thought
you
I said
doing
that,
something like that.
No, I wouldn't
either.
be okay with you
know
doing
what I'm
that.
saying? And that is the main, especially when you're married, right? So that's the first thing, right? And then the conversation comes up like, yo, if the tables were turned, right? If the red table was, you know what I'm saying? And Will was on the other side, right? And a woman, and I didn't say young, a woman of 24 came out and said that she was in a relationship with Will Smith and she was hurt and damaged.
Yes.
Now that is the key, because anytime you put a woman in hurt by it, I don't know, I guess it's I don't know what you call it, like the supporters, the supporters of the women's rights tear guys to pieces. They do. They tear them to pieces. Now, there's information that has to come out.
Can we separate the women's rights from just the women's voices?
All right. Yeah.
Because women's rights is way different than women's voices on the internet.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And so if I'm just saying a woman coming out saying that Will Smith hurt her, right? Because August said that he was hurt.
He was very clear.
And I'm keeping it parallel, because sometimes when we have the conversation, people veer it off, right?
You're doing a great job.
We're not talking about an underage. That's not allowed. It's illegal.
Yep.
And then also, we're not talking about forced, right? That's the difference between a lot of those Weinstein situations. So this is not, it wouldn't be, you can't say that, oh, you know what I'm saying, Will was in a situation and he had forced himself on a woman. That's not what happened. If he did that, he would be in trouble.
Yes.
That's anywhere.
That's
any person, anybody.
Yes.
But in a 1-for-1 situation,
if the tables were turned.
Yes, table was turned, the same situation.
Do I feel the internet would be way more turned up? Yes.
Yeah, because
the internet will be way more turned up if Will cheated on Jada.
Yes.
Yes. The way that the internet was turned up on Kevin Hart, the way that it was turned up on Jay-Z. But the realization of the fact of the matter is, men have been cheating on women forever. That's why, in the public eye, let me not say, because women cheat on men too. Let's be very clear.
And I'll just throw that in there.
Public perception, men in these celebrity relationships cheat on women way more. That's why everybody's shocked at this. That's why everybody is shocked at this, because it now is
I
the
disagree just a
table.
little bit.
Go ahead. Yeah.
You can finish. I just say
No,
I
I'm just saying
disagree. That's
that's
not why
why.
they shocked.
Well, I think that's why men are like, well, where is the same turn up?
Yeah, you're right. I mean,
You know what I'm saying?
you're right.
But
That is
this
that. Now
one of,
that is right.
this is one of the first times though publicly outside of Kris Jenner. Right, Kris
Oh,
Jenner
yeah.
cheated on
With OJ?
with the Kardashian,
Well,
with
allegedly,
OJ.
allegedly OJ.
But we didn't have social media in that time. That was in the 80s or 90s or whenever that happened, right? But because now in the social media era, people get exposed, people get canceled, or whatever we want to talk about it so quickly.
Yeah.
This is the first time we're seeing the woman being in that seat.
Well, I want to say a woman of affluency, right?
Yes.
Who projects
An
her
iconic couple.
who projects their relationship, and who is really just on TV saying that they're so loving, that their relationship is great, and that they're in a great space. Remember, these rumors. There has been so many rumors about them for a long time.
But also, we have to remember, and this is something that I feel like Jada and Will both articulated really well in the Red Table Talk. This is like really picking a scab for them. This happened 4 years ago. This was encounters that were happening 4 years ago. He got tired, speaking of August, and he
Well, his
wanted
album's
to
about to come out. Be
also,
honest.
album's about to come out. Great role, not great.
Hey,
A rollout is
it's a
happening.
hell of a rollout.
We'll say that a hell of a rollout is happening right now.
Just to say, this is big for all of them. Really, if you from
You made
the
mention of that.
neutral
That's- yeah.
from the neutral, any news is good news, including bad news. This
From
is
the
what you
PR
want.
perspective.
August is getting his own 101s. His album's dropping. He's getting paid. Jada's going her show. You know what I'm saying? She's getting paid. Will is so-called the victim, right? This big Hollywood star, one of the highest paid Hollywood stars. Guess what? He's about to get paid too. They all are in a.
It's a conundrum.
It's an entanglement.
It is.
It's a financial entanglement. Let's call it that.
Babe, you better say that, honey.
They left the financial off that entanglement.
So we are all getting very invested in the memes and all that kind of stuff. What I want, like, we are having a good discussion. What I wanted to say, like, people are like bashing women right now. Like, if this was Will, y'all would, okay, you're right. If it was Will, but we've been, this is like the twilight. You wake up and blink and somebody famous is cheating on their beautiful wife. Like, that is what society has made acceptable. What the problem is that men don't make this behavior acceptable. This is completely unacceptable to anybody. And they're like, why? We're grasping for straws, right? And not really talking about the real issue. What my real issue is that this, and I think I was going, I don't know if I'll repeat it. This young man that was sickly was in a consensual relationship and was being manipulated. That happens every day. That happens.
Talking about the women?
Yeah, that happens to men and women. That happens every day. Men get manipulated by women every day.
Well, all right, and to your point, I want to take it to a bigger scale. Men get raped too, and I'm not talking about by another man. I'm talking about by a woman.
Yes.
They say that they're that I guess I had the term for it. I guess it's called female rape or male rape happens, but when people, like, when the guys that get raped by females go to the police or try to make a statement, they get laughed at. They legitimately get laughed at.
I have been witness to more women being domestically violent towards men that I know than the other way around. And I've seen both. But I can count on several hands, fingers, and toes of situations that got real raw. And it was the woman accosting the man.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not saying domestic violence ain't right. We're not called. This is my issue. This is great. This is a great segue. We're trying to tally the score of things that are wrong on both sides. That's really what I'm glad that came to me. We're
good.
trying to tally the score of, women shouldn't cheat on men, and men. That shit's all wrong. All of it's messed up. The manipulation of why men manipulate women too. All of the behavior is wrong. what are we going to do as a society and a culture to fix that behavior, right? And at the end of the
There's only
day,
one solution.
what's that?
Eliminate monogamy.
And see, you're, darling, I'm seeing that too.
It's the only
People,
way.
people are like, well, if we just let polygamy be a thing. My problem is, if you believe in polygamy, and there's a lot of religions that believe in polygamy, there's practices to it.
Well,
there's still stipulations to it.
It's like,
the problem is that still don't. Even if you're a polygamous manipulator, you're still a manipulator. If you're a polygamous cheater, and if you've defined polygamy, I have these 3 women, and I'm the male, or three men and 1 woman, whatever it may be. Now you bring the 5th person into that. You're cheating. Somebody's cheating in that situation. There's still parameters around it.
Yeah.
Somebody's getting manipulated. Somebody is being abused. Whatever it is, that behavior is not acceptable.
Yeah. And I was gonna say, it's one of all these things are the things that when you allow people to do it, then they see, oh wow, it's not as great as I thought, right?
Yes.
Like legalizing things, whatever you want to call. They legalize it, people be like, oh wow, it's a little bit more different now that the taxes added onto it, right? Like, yo, if you legalize polygamy, right? People will realize like, yo, this is type expensive. It's not like it's not like everybody just living together, and it is a cost for that. You can really only have as many wives as you can afford. One wife is expensive, right? And dealing with one personality. A lot of people find out they can't juggle. It's hard
And a lot
to do
of
all that.
people, you're right. The act of being married to more than one person is illegal, but you can practice polygamy all you want and not be married.
Yeah, but there are people who it might work for them. You know what I'm saying?
It's a lot of people that it does work
You
for
know what I'm saying?
them.
So you just have to do what's best for you. Treat people how you want to be treated, and just if you get married, respect that union and bond.
I do want to be very clear, because I had a conversation with Awesome, and he brought it up briefly. There's a lot of differences between this situation and what was going through with that Jeffrey Epstein, Bill Cosby, and Harvey Weinstein. We cannot lose the voices of people being drugged and raped and all of that in the Me Too movement, which was created by a Black woman, and correlate that to this. We can't do that, because that is so significant to women's rights. That's why I wanted to kind of delineate women's voices versus women's rights. You can voice your opinion. Our rights are not up for discussion. And that's all I wanted. This is all speculation.
Yeah.
It's always 3 sides to a story, his, hers, and the truth, right? Like, we don't know what exactly was going on. Is it a poor depiction of it's not a poor, is this a depiction of Jada Pinkett Smith's poor decision-making skills? Absolutely. Did it take that shiny shield of them being iconic and this flawless marriage and beautiful people, and they had this amazing family that were free spirits? Did it take the wool from over our eyes? Yes, it did. Yet, is August hurt? 100%. His feelings are very valid, and how he communicated. Would I have done that? Knowing that, would I have done that on a public forum, knowing how open our lives are to speculation from fanfare and all that? I do think, to me, I wouldn't have went and did a full expose on that, because doing that still didn't heal him from his hurt. He's still hurt today.
Yeah.
Right? That doesn't help when you expose on a public platform. It's not going to make Jada feel like, oh man, I was really wrong for that. That has to come from internally. I want to also define, not define, but speak upon. A lot of people are talking about Jada's use of healing. I'm with y'all 100%.
Well, let's watch it, because I haven't watched it.
Okay.
Fully. And so
I just want to say that
we'll walk through, and then we'll stop it at different things.
Okay, yeah, we can go through it. I just wanted her terminology. I hate that we
This is all
are
the stuff
now
that's going on.
using terminology like healing, toxicity, toxic
those are
relation.
buzzwords, you know.
They're Stop using buzzwords for real serious situations, right? And I think she is wrong for that, because there's a lot of people healing from molestation, child abuse, domestic violence. There's people really out here on whole journeys trying to heal
Well,
themselves.
I mean, think about the movie Precious.
Wh-
I won't even watch it from what I've heard. And now
Yes,
that's real. That's a real situations.
real situations, right? So we'll go through. We're gonna watch some of this. You'll hear the audio, and then we'll discuss.
On in the press. I felt like it was important to come to the table to really clear the air. Somebody made a statement for me that wasn't a statement I made, that went cray cray.
And one of the reasons why I wanted to come to the table is the media, the headlines. We specifically never said anything.
Yeah.
We were purposely not saying anything. Any headline that says Jada said or Will said or the Smith said is not true. We specifically never said anything.
Right.
So coming to the table was like, we just felt like it got to the point where you got to say something.
Yeah, and,
You gotta
and,
say
and to
something.
stop that cycle.
Yeah.
You know, there's people's feelings involved.
Right. Right.
You know, and at the end of the day, I don't like how all of this came to be. But that doesn't matter. It's all love. Honestly. And I would usually
That was the
not,
picture right there. They was getting them.
you know,
for.
that would be something I wouldn't comment on at all.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like it's a situation that I
Well, this is something I pointed out too, right? And I want to
Consider
go back
private?
to Will when they put it on him. First of all, Will's an actor.
Yes,
I wanted to state that point. And guess who also is an actor?
Jada.
Jada. Okay. And what do actors do? There's a whole bunch. There's makeup, right? These people didn't just, roll out of bed and decide to sit at the table. This is a whole set. This is a whole production. They knew what this was, right?
You know they filmed this in their house.
Well, hey.
Their studio's like our studio.
But at the same time, if you notice, all guys have beards now, including me. You know what I'm saying? But that's the corona. I don't want to call it the coronavirus look, but you can't really be like, everybody's kind of been like, oh, I can't go to barbers. You know what I'm saying? Nobody really wants to admit they cut their own hair. So that's the beard look. All right. His face is a little red. He does look a little sad, but is that because in this same situation, he's being the victim, right? He's the one who got cheated on. He's the one who's supposedly, and the reason why I say supposedly, loving wife cheated on him, because he said in here, and we're gonna get to it later, he said he was so done with her. And then
But
Jada,
they were separated, darling.
yeah, but I'm guessing this is what led to them being separated.
No, this happened while they were separated.
I get that, but you'll hear it. Will said he was done with Jada.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is that I said supposedly loving. He was pretty much not going to mess with her no more.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is the love at that point was gone. But here he's at the table looking like a sad husband who got cheated on.
Because I think
I'm not saying he gave permission. I'm not saying that. I'm saying he was done with. He's like, yo, I'm not messing with you no more. We living separate. I'm in the mansion in LA. You in the mansion in Arizona. The kids in the mansion in New York.
Yeah. Well, once again, I just want to be very clear. This scandal, or whatever we want to call it, this affair, happened 4 years ago. So he's probably really upset. I think he's putting the salt, pepper, and ketchup on it. But I'm sure
That's what I'm saying. I'm just talking about
yes.
he's an actor. I'm saying that he has to look like this.
He's playing into the
He
role.
can't come
of
in
the,
here.
of
He
the-
can't come
the
in here
men.
like,
I don't
yeah,
care.
like, oh, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Oh, wow, wait, wow, well,
Yeah,
glad okay, all right,
we
I'm
talked
out.
about it. Yeah, no, I agree.
He's got to show the somber. He has to he has to show it, and not only act. It has to be on his face. You have to have it, like they say, man. People wear their heart on their sleeve, or you can read it on their face. It's being that he's been
darling,
styled to look like that.
Outside of being an actor, that just want your honest feedback. Not saying you wouldn't take me back because you wouldn't do. If this was exactly our situation, right outside, I'm just using this.
Yep.
If this was our situation and we decided to reconcile and we were having this conversation on a podcast in the future, would you or would you not still be upset?
I think the term would be, excuse me, you forgive, you don't forget.
Yes. So what emotion do you think in this conversation would you be depicting
I
on
mean,
your face?
I put it like this. I've been cheated on in the past, and I pretty much never really took them back.
But I'm saying in this situation, right? You did take the person back.
I never took the person back.
No, I'm saying
Oh.
if you were in this, take yourself out of
I'm
that
just saying, like, yo.
situation. But in this situation, if you were Will and you said, "I'm gonna keep my wife,"
Oh yeah.
but we're having this conversation publicly now. What emotion do you think you would be displaying?
I mean,
Would you be happy, sad?
you know me,
not-
man. I'm angry. I'd be angry as
Yeah,
hell. I'd
you'd be
angry.
turned up.
I'd be angry.
The red table be turned over.
All right. Get back.
You just feel like it ain't really nobody's
Nobody's business,
Yeah,
but-
yeah. But now Black Twitter has claimed it as their business.
I think she was too old.
But I feel like
And I feel like
That's
that. I
not
feel
funny.
like I feel
why
like
are you laughing at
and
that?
I feel like this shows a side of Jada and why Will was upset at her. Like, you just try talking to a brick wall, right? You're gonna get absolutely nowhere, right? To me, she does what she wants to do and nobody can tell her anything, right? And in a relationship, in a marriage, it doesn't work like that. Two people, you have to meet in the middle somewhere. And when she said, and I'm still getting ahead, and I saw these clips when she said, they said you gave permission, but you didn't. And the only person that gave permission is me.
She about to say it. And
She about to say it right now?
It's
and,
right after
and I just want to say that part, like, to me, that lets me know that's probably what was getting on his nerves, and that's probably why he's so dumb with her, because he's probably like trying so hard to tell her things that they need to do in a relationship, right? You are in a marriage, right? So then there's a give and take, and she's not giving. And that can be frustrating. I'm pretty sure that frustration leads to anger. That anger can turn to hate, and then you be finished. And I can just tell, like you said, she doesn't seem sorry. She doesn't seem regretful. I mean, I'm talking about I'm just talking about Will's feelings. She didn't seem sorry about Will's feelings. She never considered Will's feelings, and she didn't seem to be affected that Will was upset. Will at least had the makeup person make him look sad. She looked like she ain't lose a second of sleep over Will's feelings.
I agree.
Will's
She
feelings.
looks very jovial and very like, I'm telling this story. We're past it. I'm making this statement because I gotta make this statement, but we good now. So like y'all laugh at it if you want to.
Because self-blame is a real thing.
Yes.
When people see, this is the thing they don't show you, right? There's 7 steps to like pretty much any recovery, right? And when you get caught out there, your whole life is broken up, right? You're getting a divorce, you're moving out the house, the moving truck, you go into your little apartment, you know what I'm saying? You don't get to see your kids, right? Then you start feeling guilty. You be like, damn, I messed up. There is even if this was 4 years ago, there is not an ounce of guilt in her eyes.
Because I think, and this is just speculation, Jada don't think she did anything wrong.
And I think that's what Will's problem is. She'd probably never do. Because remember, listen, we're talking about all the talks about Tupac. And he had to talk about that. He's been shoveling her shit for a minute. Excuse me.
it's healing that needs to happen. And I know there's a lot of stuff going on in the world right now.
Yeah.
Even though this is minuscule, I do feel like it's these kinds of things that create the world that we're in. And the idea of not communicating, not talking about it, not clearing the air, and just being as transparent. Just being
Absolutely.
transparent.
And I'm here with you.
I thank you for that, because you've been on a hell of a journey with me. So that's what we're going to start with.
We're
Is
gonna
that
start
this
with-
is a very personal journey
Yeah.
that became very public
Yes, absolutely.
for whatever reason.
So what happened, Jada?
Okay, so let's start with, I guess about 4.5 years ago.
Yeah,
I think it was about 4 years
think?
ago. Started a friendship with August. And we actually became really, really good friends. And it all started with him just needing some help. You know, me wanting to help his health, his mental state.
Because
You
for me,
know,
that was the thing when Og first came around,
Oh, you hear the
he was
names?
really
really
sick,
sick. He was
you
really,
know,
really sick. Yeah.
and the outpouring for him from our family was initially about his health.
Yeah. And I mean, we
And that, I
found
think
all
that's
those
an
different.
important thing, that they all were invested. Will said from our family, Graham might have been down, like getting them chicken noodle soup, like whatever that may be. You know what I'm saying? Like they
Yeah.
all were invested in helping him get through his illness, which that type of humanity gets lost a lot of times in this day and age.
Oh yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm
Used to take
glad,
a village. Now it just takes. You know what I'm saying?
like, I'm glad that Will just touched on that. Like, it started as us trying to help somebody, and it spiraled, right? I don't think Jada, I think that's a great, what you said, the self-blame. I don't think she's taking enough of the blame. She is looking very vivacious and fresh, like ain't nothing happened. But Will is trying to navigate this story to say, yo, this
This is bugged.
started.
This is bugged.
It's bugged because exactly. It's bugged because we started as trying to help somebody that was sick.
And
So
I
just
think, and I
wanna-
think that's what they like in the text we read earlier. That's what the people picked up on, and that's why they was calling her.
But the reason
Their
that
names.
the reason that they all were involved, the whole family was involved in this. She's got to take the blame, but I'm just saying they all were involved in
different
knowing him.
resources, you know, to help pull them through. And from there, you know, you and I were going through a very difficult time.
Yeah.
And we decided
I was
We
done
stopped
with-
at
I'm about
there
to say, yo, yeah,
because-
at the same time, how difficult could it be?
But what were they we don't know what they were going through.
But they did. See, this is the thing. Okay, I mean, all right. Let me do this for a second. You know what I'm saying? Let me just.
Also said, let me do this for a
Let
second
me-
while he
let-
pulls that up. That I think they might have, Will might have been cheating allegedly. Finances, something in the portfolio might have got messed up, and they was about to lose their fortune. Something might have been already happening in their marriage. We don't know what was going on. This is the part where she was talking about, you know, if you follow Red Table Talk, Will has been on Red Table Talk many times, and Jada had, and you made mention of it, which I think is really hard for any man to deal with. Jada had this very intimate relationship with one of the top 3 most iconic rappers in the world. And Will was a rapper. And he was like, yo, I'll never be Tupac. In my wife, who I love's eyes, I'll never be Tupac. She had this intimate knowing of one of these like mythical creatures, right? That we talk about, like Tupac, right? So there's a lot that was probably happening at that time before August became the problem. That's what I feel. That's kind of what I feel.
So this is just a search menu, right? I mean, it looks like a year ago, Jada Pinkett opens up about midlife crisis that changed her marriage. That's a year ago.
Yes.
Will and Jada address relationship rumors a year ago, right?
Yes.
I mean, I'm looking for the one where she specifically said that everything's now going to be August, but where she specifically said Will can do whatever he wants except embarrassing me.
Well, they said on the Red Table that they're in a partnership.
Yeah, I understand that, but
You know,
I'm not
but-
talking about that
No,
now.
that was that same conversation.
I'm
That
talking
was-
about before. See, look, Jada Pinkett talks about past sex addiction. I mean, to me, if you look at all this stuff with her, the past is there for Jada out of control. So she's not mature enough to get divorced. That's a year. Like the conversation that she has been having in the rumors. I did type in. I can't find the one where she embarrassed. She said, "Don't embarrass him," or he could do whatever. Wasn't it like 60 Minutes or something like that?
No, I think it was Red Table. I do.
Or was it what's the Dr. Phil, right? Was she on Dr. Phil?
I don't know.
No, I don't think she was
so,
Dr. Phil.
yeah.
But I feel like it was one of those shows. It might have been Red Table. But so if you type in this Will Smith rumors, right? I mean, this is what I was saying. They keep talking about Will and Dwayne Martin.
Well,
I'm not gonna play it, but they always talk about Will Smith and Dwayne Martin.
the thing is, everybody alludes to some type of sexual relationship with them. So Dwayne and what's Gina's real name? His wife.
Yeah.
Gina from Martin. Why can't I think of her name? It's just it's too much going on in my brain. They're getting divorced, and she made a statement like, "Y'all thought I was crazy." Allegedly, what the thing is that Jada Pinkett Smith was a bridesmaid in their wedding, right? In Dwayne and Gina's wedding. What is her name? Tisha Campbell. I'm sorry.
Tisha
Thank
Campbell,
you.
yeah.
I don't revoke my black card. I just couldn't think off the top of my head. Tisha Campbell and Dwayne. Jada Pinkett Smith was a bridesmaid. They have a very close relationship because Will and Dwight are so close. Dwayne, I'm sorry. The allegedly what's happening is that they go out and they cheat. And they cover up for one another. And that's kind of what Tisha Campbell was like, yo, y'all thought I was wilding, but look, this is all starting to come out now.
All right. Well, you know,
allegedly.
Usually we don't dig this deep, but we trying to find answers here. So here's a little web page that we go to sometimes when we need a quick answer, and it's called Lipstick Alley. We do go on Lipstick Alley sometimes.
Awesome.
So
I showed him this site one time.
I knew about it a long time.
Oh my gosh.
So here it is. So this is the question on Lipstick Alley: is Will Smith gay? I thought it was right at the top. It says, "Is Will Smith in the closet?" Right. It says, all right, I can't even read it. It says, "It amazes me how people assume those who are questioning this are doing so because simply cannot accept that people are gay." Honestly, it's the way you talk that makes me not believe. Well, you know, people go back and forth on here.
You'll go into a rabbit hole on. You're not gonna find anything that's like legit, like somebody saying that he is or he isn't. Like it's just.
Sometimes you find it. Sometimes
it's just a roast site at this point. Lipstick Alley is not a credible source. It's just kind of like whatever. Like I'm saying. So the fact of the matter is, I guess my question is, what does it matter if he is or he isn't? Do you think that's is that what you're saying, connecting to like Jada having some issues with him and that's what was separating them? Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
And I'm saying that because of Will wanting more than just her, led her to have to find things for her outside of him.
But we're speculating that. They're never going to tell.
No, they're not
going to tell. Like they're saying we had some issues in our marriage. We were separated. If you want to continue to play, because he starts to talk about his side.
With your ass.
You kicked me to a difficult time.
Yeah.
And we decided.
I was done with your ass.
Yeah, you kicked.
And see, that's the thing I'm saying. Like he said that was a big statement. I was done with you. Mm-hmm. And it's like, what could she be doing? And she just kind of went, yeah. Like, what is it that she was doing that would make him done? Like,
if you want to refer back, I know a lot of men don't watch Red Table Talk, but that midlife crisis episode was her talking about how nothing Will could do could make her happy. So she was lashing out. They were arguing. They were having a lot of issues.
Okay.
Like,
got it.
So I know, like, people, I watch it. I like the show. I like her talk show. That was where that's coming from. And he went on there on that episode and was like, you would come home crying. Nothing was making you happy. And they were kind of explaining how money cannot solve that. When you're depressed, when you feel fat, when you have low self-esteem, money can't solve that.
Yeah, because think about it. Going to Cali 1,000 times just becomes a waste of time, right?
Yes.
I mean, going to Dubai 1,000 times ends up being more waste of a time than it was the first time, right? Going to Asia 1,000 times end up being a waste of time more than the first 10 times that you've been there.
So many times that it has that illustrious, like, wow, I'm living life.
Take it from me. I almost travel for a living. And listen, I used to be so upset how many times I used to have to go to Boston. And now there's some people out there who've never been to Boston. There's probably people right now on their way to Boston excited.
That's the point,
I'm not, listen, if somebody's like, let's go to Boston, I'm like, no, I don't want to go to Boston to do anything.
Yes, you are hitting the nail on the head.
And so it does become tough when, you've been in a relationship, I'll just say for 1,000 days.
Yes.
It's not that 1,001 day is not going to be the same as that first day.
You better speak on it also.
But it is really tough to, keep everything as it from the first day. I mean, the spark, the energy.
Yes.
You know, and that's where I was trying to get more big on, just the energy. You know what I'm saying? It's tough because some days you're just like in your 1000 day, you're like, yo, it's just another day, but it's not. It's another day that you have to appreciate somebody.
Yes.
It's another day that you have to love somebody, and you have to remember that.
You have, and it's hard in a marriage.
It's hard.
It's hard in a long-term relationship. Like,
Do
we're
anything
talking
a
about
1,000
marriage.
days, yeah.
We're talking about marriage right now, but anything, you are just knocking this out of the park. It's like they could have whatever they want, and Jada was adamantly saying, "I'm still not happy." She confesses it in that episode that she was like, yo, I was still not happy. So that's why Will was saying, I was done with you. Will has that infamous quote that in marriage,
Yeah, it's up to the person, right?
it's up to you to make yourself happy. Your significant other cannot make you happy.
That's right.
That comes from that episode.
Yeah,
That's where that quote
because
came
Will,
from.
because even though they both are actors, Will makes different types of movies than her. He finds different joys, you know. And she,
I think men in general can find happiness more so than women can.
well,
Y'all can,
well, listen, 4 guys can go to Mobile, Alabama, and have a blast.
yes. Yep.
Have a
But
blast.
even in relationships, darling, you can, I'll just use us. Austin likes video games. You can come down here and play your video game and be so freaking content, right? You don't need much for your joy. You're like, yo, I sat here, I ate my lunch, and I played my game, and then I went and I did whatever I do for the rest of my life. Women sometimes need to be more entertained. Like, they need somebody to entertain them. Men will find something that entertains themselves.
That's because guys love life. Women.
You need to make a whole, like, series, darling.
That's
You
what
do.
we're doing.
No, I'm saying, but, like, I mean, like, of that quote. I'm saying, like, you need to make,
You're
like,
right.
some stuff.
You're right.
Kick me to
I
the
was
curb.
done with you.
Yeah. We
Marriages
basically-
have that, though. Marriages have that.
Yeah, we basically, we broke up.
We decided that we were going to separate for a period of time, and you go figure out how to make yourself happy, and I'll figure out how to make myself happy.
Well, at that particular point in time, it was indefinite.
Yeah, I really felt like we could be over. you
Yeah,
know?
no, we were over.
And then what did you do, Jada?
Well, you know, I think
Here it comes.
from there, you know, as time went on, I got into a different kind of entanglement with August. One thing I want to get clear about and clean up, one of the things that was kind of swirling in the press about you giving permission, which is,
Call him a simp.
you know, the only person that could give permission in that particular
yeah.
circumstance is myself.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And they was eat her up for that too. They was like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was a choice you made to do that. I get what she was saying. It's her body, right? Her decision. But like, and I get that they were broken up, but I mean, they weren't officially.
And so that's where when I started this to say I don't believe in separation because you're still legally married. So where are the boundaries at, right? Like, where's the boundaries with that? Unless you're super mature and can clearly define that, a lot of people can't articulate that. Do I think because Will, I'm so glad we're watching this. Will said, I was done. Like, I didn't think so let me take a step back too. A lot of people use legal jargon very like kerfuffle kind of way. Like, you have to legally separate to divorce no matter what state you're in. So you have to have an address and the other person has to have an address and you have to live at that address. I think it's 6 months. People have used this term separate in marriages when they want to go out and basically have a good time. That's what he was saying. Like, go find what makes you happy. Because I'm going to go find what makes me happy. And if it works out in the end and we come back together, okay, we come back together. But a lot of times people cannot accept what happens in that separation. That time where you're not together, the shenanigans that go on, that's what hurts the marriage more so than being separated. It's what goes on in the separation.
Well, it was what they call messy, man.
It is messy.
And it always comes back to this.
Yes.
And that's why they be like, yo, just finalize your divorce before you holler at me, please. That's all.
You, darling.
That's it. Just please do that.
So
Save me the
can I just
trouble.
cut in there? August Alsina knew that Jada Pinkett Smith was married to Will Smith. He knowingly knew that them papers weren't signed. Now, granted,
You're right. I mean, okay.
she was telling him, I'm
he-
separated, and Will knows that we are separated.
Yes.
Honesty there. But you also have to use a little rationale yourself. They were not divorced.
But I mean, you're right. I mean, but just thinking about it, Jada's a come up for anybody, right? And if possibly, I would call her top 5 black female actresses.
Yeah, I would
comes
agree
to
with
you
that
saying,
statement.
"Don't worry about him, bust it open." You gonna bust it open? I mean, to me, the same reasons that Will was done with her is
allure.
the reason why another young dude would start with her.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? For her not listening to him, not wanting to do the things that he wanted to do, but then she wanted to do the things that August wanted to do. He with it. He like, yo, you done with him? All right. I mean, but this is why I think that guys always say it's not. Well, no, I guess I can't use that example. I guess this is why guys worry about their girl sometimes. You get what I'm saying? Like when they go out with other girls or by themselves or whatever. It's because, you know, I mean, there's all type of stuff. I was going to say it's not the girl that they worry about. It's the guy that won't take no for answer. You know what I'm saying?
You
That's
said
the
that
guy
before.
that they worry about. So, I mean, but August really wasn't like that. He wasn't saying, he wasn't taking, not taking no for an answer. You know, he was, if you say it's okay, then it's okay with me. When he possibly should have been like,
He might have been starstruck. He might have been like,
Yeah.
"Yo, this is
I mean,
Jada.
this is Jada you talking about.
This is an opportunity
This is
I'm never
this
gonna
is a
get
huge
again."
opportunity.
And then I think he genuinely fell
took
in
the
love with her.
opportunity, yeah.
I think he genuinely fell in love with her.
Listen, if she's out here talking about sex addiction and everything, I'm sure he did fall in love with her.
Allegedly.
He was on probably an hour. They was on a 24-hour schedule.
But what August was probably trying to communicate, because I could actually see how he would perceive it as permission because we were separated amicably.
Yeah.
And I think he also wanted to make it clear that he's not a homewrecker, which he's not.
I think so. I mean, because this is your red table, and you like brought yourself to the red table. I think you need to say clearly what happened.
As far as what?
You and I decided we were going to take our space, and what happened.
Yeah, and then I got into an entanglement with August. That's what I said.
With August. You heard the remix?
I didn't.
An
Did I Marky
entanglement?
make it?
Yes. Yes.
A relationship.
Yes, it was a
Yeah.
relationship. Absolutely.
I'm so
I was
glad
in a
he
lot of
fought
pain.
for that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm glad that Will made her to define that because that was trying to do that PR, take the high road type thing out of the exactly deflecting. Will was like, nah. What was it? No, y'all was in a relationship, and I'm glad that he made her accept that. You have to accept that you were in a relationship with this young man.
So that means that he's probably living boyfriend. She was talking to him all day. They eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
I'm sure they were in a regular
Then,
relationship.
the son, the Jaden's coming by, Willow's coming by. He's going with her to her mom's house. Hey, Will's coming over this weekend. Will's there. Like, think about it. There are relationships where, let's say, a step parent, you know what I'm saying, and the original dad get along. They've had barbecues, hanging out, chilling.
100%.
And so, Will, of course, Will has already done that same situation with his other son. His other son, Trey, and her mom, right? Because she just got married to somebody, and he's cool with everybody.
I was just explaining to one of my friends that a lot of people don't know
Mm-hmm.
Jada and Will's first wife, they beefed hard in the beginning, and now they're friends. Like when Will was married to Trey's mom, that was his first wife, and he did a lot of legwork to make sure that he could have a family unit, which I commend him on that. And Jada, I think people haven't been following Red Table. I think the Sherry episode was like the first or the second episode where
Sherry was the
Will
ex-wife?
Smith's ex-wife. They've been pretty open about a lot of things. I think that they were trying their best because this was it was inches in goal when it came to whether they were getting divorced or not getting a divorce, and they wanted to keep this private, which is that's why I started with the disclaimer. People's marriages is none of our business. These topics we're going to talk about because that's what happens in marriages.
Yeah.
And I was very broken. Now, in the process
see, that's the thing
of
that
that,
gets me
a
when
lot
she
of
says-
pain. And I was,
Relationship.
yes, it was a
Yeah.
relationship. Absolutely. I was in a lot of pain and I was very broken.
And that's the part I want to know. Like, was she just in pain from like we looked at the past? She said her midlife crisis,
So in
her
that-
menopause. Like,
No,
what
that-
was her pain?
So if you go back to that midlife crisis episode, Jada has no relationship with her father, Gammy, her mom that be on the red table. Has I think a new husband or not, but like Jada has no relationship with her father. So she has daddy issues basically.
Okay.
So she was dealing with that kind of stuff, and we talk about it all the
Sound like
time.
she got mommy issues.
The thing is, we talk about it all. We talk about it all the time. Is that people don't deal with their childhood traumas?
No, they don't.
And then it comes out in their midlife. You know,
Yeah.
I dare not say that word because that gets heated discussion, but people have midlife crises. They don't know how to process. Stuff starts hitting them. They get married. They got to pay for a wedding. They got all these bills. Their kids are getting ready to go off to college. Like all that stuff hits you at the middle of your life, and you've never even dealt with things that you were dealing with when you were a adolescent or a teenager.
Yeah, that is true.
And so people start breaking down, and I think that's what I don't want to speak for her, but I think that's what she was getting
yeah,
at.
you
Like
shooting her mad bail.
No.
You shooting her mad bail.
No. I'm trying to define what she was saying. She wasn't happy. That's it. I'm not trying to shoot her bill. She
Then
wasn't happy
that makes
because
more sense. You saying that?
Yeah, she
just
said
means more because I'm
no,
like,
she was
yo,
talking about she
how was
wasn't
she
happy.
broken? Okay,
she
yeah.
said she wasn't happy. She was dealing with
She said
things
she was
in her personal life that
hurt.
she wasn't happy with.
And she said she was so hurt. But see, when people say they was damaged, it's usually like from another person. And it's crazy that we look at it from here, Will. You know what I'm saying? This is in response to saying she was so hurt and she was so damaged.
Well, also too,
He's looking to me. I'm sorry. He's looking like, yo, are you really about to try to say that I hurt you?
so he played a part in it. There's a part that
Yes. Two people in a relationship, both people play a part.
the reason that Jada said that she had to go, why they were talking about she had to go find herself. Jada is the one that took the step back when it came to the career-wise to let Will flourish. And she talks
Look,
about...
Will was going to flourish no matter what.
But she talks about how she was slightly resentful that she was a really high-paid actress, too, and getting big roles. And she was on... What was the nurse show that she was on?
I was about to say,
that
good thing you said that. You know, I
she
watched
was
a
on-
lot of movies. That is what threw her career off. And then she tried to be a rock star, a rock singer.
She was a metal singer.
That ain't have
Yes.
nothing to do with Will. Will was in his lane.
But Will's had some duds, like Wild Wild West. Well, not Wild Wild West. What was the one that really flopped?
They consider
Yeah,
Wild Wild
yeah,
West
like
a flop.
he had
They
some
consider.
flops,
I just found they consider iRobot a flop.
I think, but I like that movie. But
Everybody like that movie. They consider
But-
I Am Legend a flop.
no.
They consider that joint a flizz up.
But anyway, to stay on course, she was upset that she was the mom, she was the wife, but she had lost Jada, which a lot of women go through that. She was like, yo, I want something for me again. I want to be me again.
That's the real thing. Like I started reading a book called The Happiness Project. I told you about that. And that was like in
Yep.
2011. I have felt like I lost myself and just felt like I wasn't happy because I was working all the time, right? And so, but you're right. I'll just give you the whole gem without even having to read the book. It said, do things that you used to do when you were a child. So like, you know what I'm saying? But this, do it on a larger scale or adult level. So now you see a lot of adults who used to play with a lot of toys, they have toy companies or they make toys and they go to conventions and they sell them. It gives them joys and they spend their adult time collecting items from when they were a kid
Yes.
to resell them, and it brings them joy. Now that's just an example. It could be hair stuff. It could be easy bake ovens. It could be catching fireflies. It could be whatever you used to do as a kid to make you happy. And like you said, Jada, right? All these things, not having relationships, not being happy, trying to find her happiness. I think she might have been trying to get back to her, like, I don't want to say Pac days, but the conversation
She
about
she
Pac
yearned for that.
comes up so much, right?
When you come from all, like, I don't want to say all of us, but if Awesome and I, well, I say when Awesome and I become multimillionaires, we will still want. I will still want to go to Atlantic City Beach. You will still want to do certain things and hang out with certain people that you loved as a child. I try to convey this as much as possible. I've worked with every and anybody you could think of as a celebrity. That is what my career is. What is the one thing I always say, darling? They are human beings just like us. We talk about, I don't want to digress too much, but I always make this correlation. You have these high expectation of these rappers that become super famous overnight now to be able to be money managers, accountants, CPAs, lawyers, understand legal jargon, you expect a young man that went from hanging on the electrical box with his homeboys and eating hot fries from the bodega to understand music contracts? What part of the game is that? These people are people. He was a kid yesterday. Now he's a superstar. Jada was a girl from Baltimore. Now she's a superstar. You don't not become human because you become iconic. You are still human. And so people fail to realize that when it comes, we hold celebrities to such a high stature.
We hold these truths to be self-evident.
Like,
I just had to say that.
we hold them to something that they shouldn't be held to. Plain and simple.
You're right. People do put people on a pedestal. It's called the hype. They hype them up.
It is the hype.
They hype them up.
It's the hype.
All right.
Now, in the process of that relationship, I definitely realized that you can't find happiness outside of yourself.
Yes.
And luckily enough, you and I were also going through a process
Oh,
of
and I just thought about this with that comment too. She might have also went through a little bit of empty nest syndrome.
Maybe.
And that's
Maybe.
another thing. Like for the fact that
The kids was grown.
reading through the text, right? She called the boy son, right? She wasn't happy with Will, and then she was trying to find happiness. Maybe her motherly instinct took in, and people need someone that they
take
feel
care
like
of.
they need them, right? They need to feel
Yep.
needed, right? So she's
Yep.
like, got this guy. It's like he's sick, right? And she can help him in so many ways. And that probably gave her a meaningful and a purpose. Meaning, compared to Will, who's so self-sufficient, he's jumping out of planes. He's doing a movie every month.
I think guys just know how to manage themselves better.
You're right. I
They
mean,
know how to
because they love
entertain-
life. They
they
love life.
entertain themselves
He's
better
loving
than
life.
women.
He's loving life.
Yeah.
She has a maternal instinct, right?
Mm-hmm.
And think about it. What happens when you try to kiss your kid? Get off me. Stop it. So
Yeah.
Jaden's not getting hugs and kisses from her no more. Willow is not getting hugs and kisses from her no more. So she's just like, where I give my love to.
Your
She
husband.
can't have another. But this is what I'm saying. He doesn't. Their relationship has changed to the point where he doesn't want hugs and kisses from her
It's
anymore.
a business transaction.
Yeah, he doesn't want
Yeah.
that from her no more. He wants to go jump out of planes. So she was left here, odd man out. Remember that show, Fourth Wheel, Third Wheel? Mm-hmm. She's looking for somebody to give her love to with the empty nest, midlife crisis, motherly instinct thing. And August is there, swaddled baby, underneath the North Star.
You drawing a lot of conclusions.
That's
huh?
it.
You trying to-
That's exactly what it was. This boy laying. She probably laying in. He probably laying in her lap, and she's trying. Yeah.
Play the clip.
healing in a much different manner. I would definitely say we did everything that we could to get away from each other, only to realize that that wasn't possible.
So we come into the red table. So I'm in the Jada position right now. So
Okay.
you during that time launched into an interaction with August. What do you feel like you were looking for?
I just wanted to feel good. It had been so long since I felt good. And it was really a joy to just help heal somebody.
See, that's what I'm saying. The motherly
I
thing.
think that has a lot to do with my codependency. which is another thing that I had to learn to break in this cycle. Just that idea of needing to fix and being drawn to people that need help, whether it's your health or whether it's
I
your
hadn't even seen it, so I
addictions.
gotta see it.
There's something about that childhood trauma that feels as though it can be fixed through fixing people versus fixing me.
Yeah.
And I think that that whole process with Og really showed me that and taught me that. And I'm really grateful for that lesson.
I feel like that husband, like I'm with you at the press conference. I'm that husband. Now I got to be with you at the press conference while you like tell the world about your transgressions. Like I love my baby. I'm gonna stand by my baby no matter what.
Well, you know, I definitely understand why it would look that way or feel that way, but I actually don't look at it as a transgression at all. Through that particular journey, I learned so much about myself and was able to really confront a lot of emotional immaturity, emotional insecurity, and I was really able to do some really deep healing. You know, and as I came through and started to realize certain things about you and I, he decided to break all communication with me, which was totally understandable.
Right.
And I let that be and hadn't talked to him since.
Right.
So it is a little weird that all this stuff is coming out now, since this was
because for me this was years ago, right? You know, so the fact that it's coming up now, and I think it could feel weird for people that we're laughing and talking about it, but
it happened so long ago.
You know, and our experiences of working through it, fighting through it, talking through it, and therapizing through it. I think that the why now is weird.
Yeah. When I say it's been a huge healing on my life and just what I had to confront and discover,
See, that makes
you know, about myself.
Looking back at it,
the ugly
she's about
truths
healing herself
and the beauty. So it was something that I felt
her being with August,
like wasn't
with her being with August as the healing, but I think she was learning things about herself, like, yo, I'm helping him out, but I'm not okay because I always digress to helping somebody out and trying and not dealing with my issues. It wasn't like she was using him to heal herself. She was saying that she healed through the process of seeing like, yo, I got to stop doing this. I can't have pet projects. I need to deal with my own issues.
Yes. Yeah. I mean,
that kind of makes a little more sense to me.
If you watch movies where they depict people, rich people, they do have projects.
Oh, for
You know
sure.
what I'm saying? They get
People
into these
love
little
a pet
causes or
project.
these little
People don't
projects.
got to be rich to like a pet project.
Think of the movie Trading Places. Right? The two rich guys was like, yo, I bet you I can turn anybody into a millionaire. That was what the whole movie was with Eddie Murphy. And then he became a millionaire. And the dude was like, yo, you won the bet? He's like, yo, the bet was $1. You know what I'm saying? Because it was, for them, that's just what people of that affluent and stature does.
Yeah.
And so same thing for her. She found this guy that she wanted to do things for, and she had all these things going on in her that she thought was helping her, but really it wasn't helping her to the extent she thought.
Yeah. Did you watch the Angela Yee interview?
really ready to be discussed because it hadn't been that healing, because he hasn't wanted to, you know, Og and I haven't talked in so
days.
long.
30
You know
days.
what I mean? So I don't
3
know.
hours.
This all seemed very strange, you know. But I'm grateful for the journey that you and I have had together. Because I feel like there are a lot of couples that go through those periods, and a lot of couples that have to separate and think it's over. And, you know, the one thing I'll say about you and I is that there's never been secrets.
Right. We came together young, and we were both broken in our own ways, and to be able to make mistakes without the fear of losing your family is so critical.
Yeah. It's the idea of any relationship and trying to get to deeper understanding of love is going to be forged in fire. There's no way around it.
Yeah.
And I think that
Ain't nobody was sweating
one of
like
the
that.
things that I'm deeply grateful
started
in
sweating
this
until she
whole
started, like,
process
doing,
between
like,
you and I
other
is
movies.
that we have really gotten to that new place
Yes.
of unconditional love.
Because I wasn't sure I was ever going to speak to you again.
I know.
Damn.
Yeah,
They was
like,
deep. See,
the fact that
that's
I'm-
what I'm saying. Like,
I'm so you had so many opinions about that, but it's funny when you were watching it for the first time. You're like, "Yo, this is mad."
this is deep because I'm
Darling,
just catching
that's
so
why-
many
that's
vibes from
why I
him. He
was-
wasn't going to speak to her ever again.
That-
You know how mad you gotta be at somebody.
Yes, darling. And watching, even watching this, this is like the 5th time that I watched this full interview, and that's why I asked you if you watched the Angela Yee interview. August speaks of his hurt, but he don't speak as if he was like preyed upon. He don't speak like that.
Well, I mean, come on.
You know what I'm saying?
He the guy is an R&B singer. He has to know what love is. You know what I'm saying? I feel like R&B singers, you know what I'm saying, just like steam love out their pores. You get what I'm saying? Like they out here just romancing 24 hours a day. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like the romance section matched her romance section. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's all I'm saying.
She made him feel good.
He made her feel good too. He was doing all that.
Listen.
I don't know that many of his songs. What was his big song? August Alsina. I'm sure it was freaky. I'm sure it was all freaky
No,
as all
it's
hell.
actually not. It's like I can't. Why? It's like at the tip of my tongue. You know, I can't sing anyway. I can't think of what the name of it is, but
all I'm saying is that
it's a love song. But it's
yeah,
like,
all I'm saying is he's
yeah.
freaky too. That's all I'm
Yeah.
saying. So you know what I'm saying? Like he
Speaking to you again is a miracle.
I would agree. I would agree.
No, but it ain't for the weak at heart. There's just certain things that you have to go through, and it's like.
And I wish, I wish that wasn't the case. I do. I wish that wasn't the case.
I sure wish it could be all magic and miracles.
Yeah. You got to go through some to get the answers.
Mm-hmm.
Can you pause it for a
You
second?
know.
This is the part though, when I understand the uproar of the men. I understand a lot of males' perspective. If my wife cheats on me, we're done. I just want to commend Will for whatever else is going on. Like everybody speculating homosexual, whatever, right? The maturity of this talk and the maturity of them, what it might have been very ugly in the process of going there, they got to this point. And when you talk about marriage, one of the vows is for better or for worse, right? This is the worst. It doesn't mean that the man does the worst. The marriage is the union of the two people. Sometimes the woman's gonna do the worst. You can't just leave when it's the worst. And I think that that's what, when the men are trying to correlate that women will be so up in arms. We have been up in arms. We have been up in arms.
I see what you hitting at.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying about that, and that was a really good point. But I don't think this is what they meant by the worst. I feel like this is null and void. Like this will end all those bonds
But they
or
made
those
what they
vows.
This is what the issue was. They amicably said we are going to separate.
Yeah. I got it between them, but I'm just talking about when other people look into it. They're like, yo, we don't even care if they amicably separated.
But that's the
That
point
null and
that I'm
void-
making,
what the actions
darling.
here
They're trying to ignore what the circumstances
will
were.
null
in
and
this.
void the whole vow.
No, because they made a decision. They, in their marriage, made a decision.
Yes, they did. They did.
That's what I'm saying.
You're right.
And that's what he's saying. He's like, yo,
yes, it was okay to them.
it was okay to them.
All right, I'll
That's
put it like
all.
this.
We're
I'll put it like
talking about this
Yeah.
circumstance,
I'll
right?
put it like this.
That's what I'm saying.
I'll put it like this. If you get your car, right? Mm-hmm. If you get into an accident with your car, well, no, you borrow your mom's car. Mm-hmm. You get in an accident. You might be like, yo, it's okay. I'm all right. Your mom might have a problem with her car being smashed, right?
Yes.
And she's a third party, not who wasn't there in that situation,
Mm-hmm.
but she has a problem with the car getting smashed. And it's the same way. Will and Jada were okay with that. Somebody else outside
Side might not be okay.
not, and that's what I'm saying.
And
that's why people is like, this is what in the vows. This is you can't,
But my point in saying is that in introspect, from learning from other people, all I'm asking is for you to understand the maturity that it took for them to get there. That's it.
They said this. I'm still calling it acting.
You're right.
I'm still
this
saying
is salt, pepper, and ketchup
this
on the
display of
hamburger right now.
acting
It is.
is top tier, and Will is being given an I wouldn't say Oscar worthy performance.
I said he needs an Oscar for this.
I'll definitely say a Golden Globe or daytime Emmy. You know what I'm saying? Level performance. You get what I'm saying?
I'm still riding. I feel like he was hurt, darling. I feel
feel like he was hurt. I can 100% see the hurt.
It ain't all acting, but it is a good performance. I will say that. It's a good performance. It is a good performance.
He's trying to be as much of Will Smith as he can.
Yes.
But
that's a great way to put it, darling. That's a great way to put it.
Knowing how big he is, this is a drop in a bucket compared to him. Right now, he's thinking about the 1,000 things he has to do when he leaves here.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying? So really, where does this fall on his ranking? Very low. And I feel like that is what really she has a problem with, because even though he's so busy, we hear this all the time with celebrities. They get married, they get divorced. They get married, get divorced because somebody's always going.
Yep.
They're not sitting and developing whatever they had.
Yeah.
Now, they had a lot. Jada is a very smart woman. She's very understanding. Same thing with Will. But you still got to put the time in.
Yeah.
You're just not going to, whether
Can you play the end? Because there's one more thing I want to talk about.
And I'm just happy because I definitely believe that you and we never, ever, ever thought that we would make it back.
Yeah, there's a real power in just knowing somebody's riding with you no matter what.
Yeah.
And you really can't know that
until you go
through some stuff, I don't want to go through this no more.
Yeah, no, I don't
Tell
either.
her, Will.
Yeah. I'm going to get you back first, and then...
You're going to get me back. I think you got me back. I think we're good on that.
Okay? That's the part I didn't like. I'm going to get you back. There's no healing with the revenge. You cannot be tit for tat. At some point, the war has to... Darling, that is the definition of tit for tat. He said, I'm going to get you back.
Well, he just said that they didn't. He was never going to talk to her again.
I understand that, darling,
but he
accepted it, and he's back in his marriage. Why would you taint that with having to get her back?
First of all, you have to rekindle. No matter what, you have to rebuild and repair.
Where are you defining getting back?
The relationship.
No, I thought he was talking about revenge.
No, darling, he talking about just getting back to being used to being around her.
Wait, rewind it a few
but I'm
seconds.
saying because you come on now, you've broken up with somebody and got back with them before, right? Just say yes.
Yeah,
all right?
I guess I can't think.
All right.
Yeah,
well, this is how it goes.
Yeah.
I've broken up with somebody and got back with them, and y'all probably gonna be shocked by this. Probably like 30 times. It is mad funny. I've broken up with a girl and got back with her, no lie, 30 times.
Awesome,
right?
funny.
And it happens different. So all I'm saying is that okay, and then I've said the same thing. I'm never talking to that girl again, right? Something happened. Either see her, be around her, or somebody else, whatever. Somebody DM somebody, not DM, but like message, call, or whatever. Email, whatever. And then it's just like a snowball, but it's not to say you just don't be like, yo, I'm pulling up, come to my room. It's like, you meet for coffee. You know what I'm saying?
You see him in the cafeteria or whatever. Whatever.
It's such a slow rebuild. And that's what I'm saying, that when he said, I have to get you back, he's literally like being more attentive. He probably cut down his travel a little bit.
I think you heard that wrong, darling. I think he was like, I'm going to get you back because I'm going to continue to play
Oh,
it.
no, he definitely... Okay,
Continue
now when you put it like that...
Yes.
But that's not what he meant,
No,
darling.
continue to play it.
He meant get her back as
Play
a
it
wife.
back a little bit. No.
I think I think we're good on that, okay?
That's why she said, I think you're good on that.
Okay, that's probably true.
You know, but
rewind it so you can hear it.
Stuff, I don't want to go through this no more.
yeah, no, I don't either.
Yeah. I'm gonna get you back first, and then
You gonna get me back? I think you got me back.
Oh, okay.
I think you.
Okay.
I think we're good on that, okay?
She's gonna put stuff on the
okay, that's probably true.
You know, but
Okay.
and I don't
He
think it's
wasn't
about
talking
getting
about, like, they're
anybody back.
together.
No, for me,
He
yeah.
was- I don't
Alright.
like that revenge stuff. Like, don't let it be, because the war will never be over if you don't make a truce. I didn't like that he did that. Like, even though I feel like, let me be transparent, I know he was joking. But for this to have such a mature talk all the way through, and
But
right
that's
at the
Will.
end,
He's a and on now. That's Will though. Come on now.
I know
And it was funny and it
was
added to the moment.
but
and
you
all
know,
that stuff, but,
you fellas, as you would say, you ladies,
But honestly,
don't take it. They be like, yeah, man, because Will said he gonna get her back.
but you
We're
know
like,
why?
Yo, like what?
You know why he had to say that?
Why?
He had to say that because, I forgot. He had to say that.
For his ego?
Not even for his ego, because he at that moment he knew that if he was on the other side of the table, in her shoes,
She would dig.
that she would have never let it go. You get what I'm saying? Like, she would have never let it go. She would have always been upset at him. So he was like, I'm doing you such a solid. He's not doing her a solid, but what he's doing is so out of the ordinary by letting you back in. He's like, yo. And even though he's probably not 100% cool with it, right? And the only way he can feel cool with it is if he feels equal. See, I think that's the thing that a lot of women don't understand about guys, right? We guys were raised in a competitive nature, right? We were sports or just streets, however you want to play it. It is about revenge with us. It is. If it's a basketball game, he beat me.
You can't bring that to your marriage, though, darling.
You're right.
You cannot bring that to your marriage.
You're right. You're 100% right. But I'm just telling you, it's deeper than, you know what I'm saying? This is not just superficial things that people decide to do when they get, no, this is long-term grained stuff that we have to, you're right, notice and then correct. But at the same point, basketball, you raising basketball, you like, I'm not going to let nobody beat me at basketball. I'm sure he feels like this is an L. Right?
He took the L. Yeah, I agree.
And so
I agree with that.
his soul, he needs to get back to where he feels
he's one
even,
up.
not even one up, just even.
Oh,
because and that's
you always
why.
bring such a good perspective.
But that's real.
You really
That
do.
is real.
Yep.
Everybody, football, even you become competitive watching your kids play. He knows you can't lose.
But getting even might be a detriment.
That's
what I'm saying.
The tick for tat is detrimental to relationships, but it is honestly, it's hard for guys to take such a hard loss.
Do you think many guys would take their wives back?
No.
Yeah.
No, this is a hard loss, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's a public display of your wife's technically infidelity, adultery, whatever you want to call it, of your marriage and you being such a public figure. I have to admit, this is a big L for him. And you don't have to take that as a negative connotation, but like it is what it is. Like, he had to put up with a lie. He had to process a lie. He had to swallow a lot of pride in order to get to the point to be at the red table.
Yeah.
Even had to get to the red table because they had privately
and
disgusted and got over it.
And calmly, he was so calm
He was
and lighthearted.
very calm and lighthearted.
It's hard to be like that,
because
man.
this type of topic will turn anybody up. It be topics that's not this heavy and turn a relationship up that you can't. You'd be like, yo, why are you yelling and arguing like that over the fork? You know what I mean? Like, it's like, come on.
It's tough, man.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll give you that petty if that's what you want.
Okay. All right. You're right.
But, I will definitely say it's just part of it.
Yeah.
If you expect to be with somebody for a lifetime.
25 years and counting.
We ride together.
We die together.
Bad marriage for life.
But that was a play. See, they kept quoting that. They kept quoting
I
that.
thought it was
but that was
kinda
like
cute
Bad
at the
Boys
end.
for Life. I mean,
Yeah.
he is in the Bad Boys movie. It's called a cliche. You know what I'm saying? A pun. It was
people
funny.
were like, why would they do? I mean,
Bad
like,
Boys
that's
for
his
Life.
thing.
It was funny.
Like,
But that lets me know.
I don't
it's
think they
rehearsed.
necessarily are in a bad marriage. I think they were just saying like, yo,
It's-
we have our ups and our downs. This is what marriage is. We in it together.
But
like,
see, that's how I know this was reversed. Rehearsed.
nah, I think that was kind of natural.
Nah, look at the hands. Look at the hands.
Ride together.
We die together.
Bad marriage for life.
I don't think that was.
That was rehearsed, man. That's too tight. The timing, the sync, unison.
That's
Will
terrible.
don't even look
It's the
swaggy
truth.
like
It's the
he
truth.
looks. No, he
Man, his shirt cost
but yeah,
$10,000.
that whole outfit is
it's just
expensive.
part
I'm
of the
just saying, he don't
journey.
look
I
like
told you the first year we were
Will
married
Smith.
What'd you tell me?
that I can love you through anything.
And I didn't believe
that's
it.
another. See, look, there's mad jewels in here that we picking up the more you hear somebody talk. That's why they say that you give somebody enough rope. You know what I'm saying? Listen to what he just said. He said, I called you up on our first year of marriage. Why would you call somebody up?
He said, I told you.
It's just part of the journey.
I told you the first year we were married
What'd you tell me?
that I can love you through anything.
And I didn't believe you.
Yeah.
If somebody looked through a crystal ball and said, this, and this is going to
Do you
happen,
think
I'm
she's his beard? I mean,
No.
that was a new term that I learned.
No, I don't. I'm not
Like,
succumbing to
no
that,
way.
that
Yeah.
narrative.
You thought
I'm
I
not.
was that I didn't have the girth that it was going to take to ride with
I
you
didn't,
through.
yeah, I didn't know if you would be willing to find the deep capacity to love me.
Yeah. How am I doing?
You're doing great.
See?
Yeah, you're awesome.
That was the whole thing. So the whole thing
Yeah.
was only 12 minutes.
Yeah, it was super short. It was
Yeah,
super
he gets straight to the
short.
point. Yeah, man. So that was deep, man. We've held y'all for an hour and a half here. We've given y'all a play-by-play breakdown of the whole Red Table Talk. We gave y'all personal experiences. We discussed. We talked about other opinions. We let it be known what exactly is going on and how it's different from all other situations. We talked about women, the difference between women's voice and women's right. We talked about men. Everything. I hope you guys enjoyed this.
I enjoyed these topics. Like I said, respectfully, whatever goes on in your marriage, it's between you and your significant other. But the topics in these things highlighted, like getting through a separation, adultery, a love triangle, these are real things. Like, until I got to be an adult, I didn't realize like open marriages, swingers, all of that kind of stuff plays into it. I'm not correlating or not saying that's what's going on with them, but I'm saying just in general, like, you know, people that get married and they're bisexual, whatever it may be. There's a lot of things that come with intimacy and sexuality that can play a factor into your marriage and your relationship, and you have to be upfront and define that stuff. You know, we talked about this. If you haven't done premarital counseling, you need to do premarital counseling. And one of the questions is, what is your desires? Do you have any secrets that you have not said to your partner? Get it out now before you make this
We
legal.
should do a secrets episode.
We can do a secrets episode.
Little Miss swears she ain't got no secrets, man.
I got a lot of secrets.
Okay.
No,
I'm
I ain't
gonna get you back
No,
first.
I didn't say I had any secrets in this relationship.
I'm gonna get you back first.
Stop doing that. Leave Will alone. First of all, I asked Austin before we started
that
recording.
joke was funny.
Had he seen it, and now he's all looking at it all
That
shocked like, I
joke
didn't
was
see
funny.
it. I
Now
didn't
that you
see
put it like that joke was bad.
No. Oh, my gosh.
I'm
But
gonna get you back first.
make sure you subscribe to our Patreon. It's the Little Miss ENT
Oh,
show
man.
on Patreon. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
We really appreciate the love and feedback. Like I said, if you want some even New York, I'll leave the link below. It's the Little Miss ENT. Well, it's LILMISSENT. That's a code for 15% off any of the products, full price products on the website. And make sure you follow me on all of my social media. It's at Little Miss ENT, LILMISSENT.
Mm-hmm.
Follow The Wedding Edition. It's _ The Wedding Edition on Instagram.
Yep.
And where can they find you? Awesome.
Awesome _ nobody on Instagram. Awesome NOBDY on Twitter. And yeah, find me here
Yep.
on the Wedding Edition podcast, Patreon. Yeah, so check us out. YouTube too. I do have my own YouTube.
So Awesome Nobody.
Yep. And then we're putting up content pretty much every week. So check us out. Drop a like.
Yep, absolutely. And as always, we love you guys for listening because 100% you didn't have to. Have a great week. Peace.
Peace. Not a boyfriend no more. Fiance.
Fiancer.
Fiance.